What's up, y'all? Good morning. I'm going to give everyone a couple of minutes to tune into today's program. You have to excuse the noise you're hearing outside, as my neighborhood has maintenance, because we're bougie like that. Woo! All right, so for those of you guys who are planning to participate today, just want to say thank you. Thank you for being open-minded, and thank you for sharing some time with me. Today, when we do this session, it's not about really how strong you are. It's got almost nothing to do with that. For those of you guys who've shown interest in kettlebell juggling, in kettlebell flipping, this skill set, there's many benefits. There are. As much as people will say, like, what are you doing? It's not going to build muscle. Like, outside of building and hypertrophy of my bicep muscle and my pecs and lats, like, what is this doing for me? So I just want to kind of chat about that. Hand-eye coordination is a skill you're going to need from now until you're dead. If I'm wrong, you all let me know. Don't get me wrong. I know that people can't see, that there's blindness out there. But for those of us who have the ability, hand-eye coordination is a big, big part of how we live our lives. When I feel something, I immediately get feedback. My eyes can now respond in a different way. When I see something, I can now receive feedback through that imagery and respond on a tactical level with my hands, my limbs, or whatever is needed. So personally, when it comes down to this practice, I think that small skill alone is important. Think about PE, catching a ball. When you caught a little ball, I'm going to grab a little ball, right? When you were able to grasp this ball when it came at you, that took your level of focus to a different degree, right? If I'm not paying attention, the ball flops. I don't care. If I'm focusing, I'm probably more likely to catch it. Today's skills, you could break it down to just catching a ball, because throwing the kettlebell up in the air isn't a problem. Catching it is the hard part, right? And for most of us, PE might not have been our favorite activity. Dodgeball, kickball, basketball, all these sports might not have been your sport, but learning how to catch an object, a flying object, not only is that going to enhance your awareness on a tactical level, on a visionary level, on what you see, but it's going to make you more durable. When I catch an object at this angle, it opens my pec up. When I'm able to receive an object here and not my spine, I probably have access to different fibers than somebody else because I practice. So when we go through today's program, it's not about kettlebell flipping. I'm not going to have you throw the bell and flip the bell. I invite you to practice that skill set. If you're going to do it indoors in a space that is a drop zone, safe to drop the kettlebell without jumping into the mirror or whatever, or go outside, because going outside is good for you. All right? So without further ado, let's get into some application. I'm going to show you a couple of things. I'll put a little timer on, and you're welcome to practice the skill set and join me as I articulate the best I can of what I'm looking for. The kettlebell I'm using today is a 12 kilogram. I'm using this one because it's not too tiring for my body. It doesn't require an extreme amount of energy, but I also get enough feedback for the amount of weight that my body is, where I can now change and adapt my responses to the activity. When I first began kettlebell flipping, juggling, and the practice of this, I really started off with an 8 kilogram kettlebell. I'm not shy to tell you that, or anybody else that. Getting strong is cool, but if you learn how to move lightweight beautifully, and then you start upping your weight as your movement practice, as your skill set is sharper, the heavier weight gets lighter. So today I invite you, if you're new to this, use a lightweight kettlebell. I vote an 8 kg to a 16 kilogram tops. All right? So the big piece attached to kettlebell flipping, juggling, these hand-eye coordination drills is going to be your hip hinge. So always pushing your butt back, still squeezing your butt. And this was something that, because the weight was very light when I first started this activity, I didn't really emphasize using my legs that much. I focused a lot more on my wrists and my arms. So I invite you today to really take your time feeling your glutes, even with light weight. So to get started today, we're actually just going to start off with a two-handed, I don't care that it's lightweight, a two-handed kettlebell swing. And I'd like you to do 15 in a row. Whether you're doing this with me or without me, I want you to do 15 in a row at your own pace. I'm going to talk and guide as I go so you can have a nice image to follow. And I mean nice. Y'all can leave the tip. You know what I'm saying? All right, so 15 swings. I want to remind you during your kettlebell swing, your ass, your glutes, your butt cheek muscles should be squeezing. You don't want to muscle this movement through your arms. You want to really allow your legs to move the weight forward. If I was to give you a back view and I was to put my shirt up, you'd see a little bit more of my butt cheeks actually flexing. For those of you who saw my last kettlebell swing tutorial, hope it gave you a couple of laughs and a little more insight. Take a small breather. I imagine most of you hit your 15 kettlebell swings. I want to give you another thought process. When the kettlebell is at the height of the chest, or let's say above the belly button in between the neck and the chest, there's a moment where the kettlebell is almost weightless. Anyone notice that? How like, man, the kettlebell kind of floats at the top. It's not really a struggle. It's just kind of there. And it's kind of defying gravity for about 1 second. I would say 1, maybe 2 seconds maximum where the kettlebell floats. We're going to do another 15 swings to warm our body up, to be realistic with you, but also to start focusing on that point up top where the kettlebell floats. So again, let's go into these 15 swings. I'll give you a couple and I'm going to keep talking. And look at the top. If I count 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. I'm always continue doing your kettlebell swings. I'm always looking for that moment at the top of the swing where it's like, damn, I'm just chilling. Life's good. It's good. So finish up those 15 swings. I'm going to give you another coaching cue I want you to focus on. And this will be kind of the last piece for the basics of the activities we're going to do. At the top of your kettlebell swing, so when I'm holding my kettlebell at the highest point, I don't care what activity it is, whether it's a clean, a swing, a snatch, like you got to keep your abs engaged. And for those of you who know when you crunch, like imagine I'm on the floor right now, and now I'm crunching. You notice hopefully the spine is a little bit shifted. It's not back here anymore. It's a bit tighter. It's a bit more neutral. When I create that contraction up top, kind of like a crunch, I feel my top 4 abs, for the most part, they're on. It's like, it's kind of uncomfortable, but I feel very stable and I feel very strong. At the top of your kettlebell swing, whether it's 2-hand or 1-hand, you want to make sure that you're crunching, that you're creating tension in here. You don't want to be back here. You want to be tight. The other coaching cue I want to make sure I give people is make sure you stand on your kettlebell swing. You don't want to end up here. You don't want to be locked. You want to come up tall and through your hips. So the next activity we're going to do to keep warming up and to also start making our hands move and get a little more coordination is a 2-handed kettlebell clean. So I'm going to demo, and again, for 15 reps, I want you to hit 15 reps. Don't be a baby, okay? Hit all 15. Like this, you're going to go straight up from the ground. Kettlebell is in between my feet, and then I'm putting it right back down. And for the most part, I'm using my legs to jolt this weight up. If you're continuing to move, just count your 15 reps. I like to think of a deadlift at the bottom of this movement. And as I pull the weight up, my hands slide from this overhand position to this neutral position. And the goal is to really shoot the weight up, where for a moment, it's weightless, right about there. I would say as soon as the kettlebell goes from the belly button, a little bit above that, to the neck, that 1.5 seconds it's shooting up here. I'm not really struggling. I'm not really fighting to hold the kettlebell or to move the kettlebell. I'm fighting to stabilize at the top. So if you finish your 15 reps, take a second off. want to give you another couple thoughts, coaching cues to keep looking for. We're going to go one more set of the two-handed clean. A reminder, when we pull, we want to feel our glutes on. We want to have our elbows in, not out here, in. And you want to feel your abs really tight. So let's hit another 15. I'll do a few reps with you. Show you a side view. You want to snap up with your hips, with your glutes. Again, my legs are doing the majority of this movement as this happens. And my hands are sliding from the top of the handle to the sides of the handle. So continue to look for that for your 15 reps. I'll give you guys about 10 to 15 seconds to finish up. And then we're going to move into the next drill today. Keep up the great work, okay? Going to check it out. I don't think I ever did a two-hand clean. Always went to a one-hand. Just so you guys know, happy that you had a comment on that. A two-hand clean, generally I would use for heavier weight, but there's many things that you can do holding that two-hand rack position. So if this is new for you, maybe apply this one to a heavier bell for a different challenge, but just know that this is an activity you can do to get a little more coordinated. All right, for how long have you been practicing kettlebell juggling? I've been practicing kettlebell juggling for about I think 4 years now. And I have a big kind of story that led to that. I don't want to deep dive into it, but pretty much like most of us who get into exercise or any kind of skill set and dive deep, I went through some of my own emotional trauma, and I decided that I would use this activity as an outlet for my emotional state. A lot of us struggle with our depression and our anger and a lot of lower frequency feelings, whatever you want to call it. And instead of me focusing on all the things that I couldn't do and on the person who hurt me and on whatever, instead of I was homeless, instead of me focusing, I don't have a home, like, I just kettlebell flipped and juggled and flowed. And it made me stay present to the moment because the kettlebell is flying at you and you're thinking about your ex or your old friend that was your friend or whatever. You might get smacked in the face. Okay? So it's really about just staying aware, staying present, and this is an activity that really helped me do that and built me a lot of other outlets emotionally in many ways. So we're going to hop on to the next skill set. I'm happy to talk a little bit about the mental health. It was huge for me. So, and I love seeing some of the enthusiasm in here about kettlebell juggling, flipping, and just seeing what your insights are. All right, so let's get to the next skill set. We're going to go for 20 reps of a hand-to-hand kettlebell swing. I'm going to show you a side view, and I want to remind you, when we're doing this, again, there's a moment where the weight floats. So I'm going to show you from the side. You can join me now. And I want you to not be scared to kind of let go of the weight and try the other hand. So don't have your hands glued together the whole time, maybe your first few reps, but then kind of let the kettlebell go. So again, from a front view, I'm kind of just letting the kettlebell go. I'm allowing the bell to rotate, but even if I wasn't, I'd still just kind of let it go. I feel what it's like. And if you think about that moment where the bell defies gravity from the belly button to the neck kind of region, you can relax after 20 reps. That 1 second swing at the top, right? 1 second letting go. It's the same thing. So watch for a second. One. For that 1 second at the top of this swing, you got to stay focused and you got to stay stable. You can't be moving without the kettlebell, right? You got to wait for the kettlebell to come back to you, and then you can initiate whatever else you were doing. Does that make sense? I hope it does. All right, so the next activity we're going to do with 2 hands, we're going to let go of the bell completely, okay? So give me 10 reps. We're going to go 2 sets. 10 reps, take a break. I'll show you what I mean from the side. Just let it go. 1, let it go. 2. Practice just letting the bell go and letting it float. Keep your hands right next to it. Don't move your hands away from it. Keep them real close. That's my 10th rep. Going to take a small break. A reminder at the top of a kettlebell swing, there is 1 second where the weight is already floating. Does it really make a big difference if you happen to let it go? Not really. I would say a 1/4 second of a difference. That float still exists. That moment of staying tight at the top, regardless if you have the kettlebell in your hand, remains a constant. So I hope that drill helped out a little bit. Let's do it one more time for shits and gigs. If you want to make it a little harder, I'm going to give you a thought. Okay, let's go for 10 again. Just practice letting it go. 1, 2, maybe move it up a little higher as you let go. 3, 1.5, look at that. More seconds to rest. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Cool. So again, a big part of the drills today, it's all about hand-eye coordination. Just letting the bell go and staying focused, even though the kettlebell isn't in your hand, on where the kettlebell needs to go, where it is, and how you need to receive the kettlebell once it's back in your hand. If you have any questions, feel free to write them out. I'll do my best to come back to them. But also remember my personal handle, if you want to engage a bit more, is @thecrazytrainer on Instagram. And I'd love to talk a little bit more about whatever, to be honest, almost anything. Almost anything. So the next drill we're going to do is a tap. So watch for a few reps as I show you here. I'm going to tap. 1 tap. Tapping with both hands, the top of the handle. I'm not smacking the crap out of it or else it fly forward, but I'm literally just tap. That's 1. Tap 2. Tap, catch 3. Tap, catch 4. Tap, catch 5. And I want you guys to run that for about 10 reps where you just tap the kettlebell. We've learned to let it go and hold. Now let's start moving our hands and responding to the kettlebell as it's floating. Hit your 10 reps. I'm going to give you guys about 30 seconds to recuperate, recover. You'll notice by just doing the reps over and over and over, your heart rate's going to go up. It's still a kettlebell swing, is it not? You're still swinging with your glutes, still keeping your core tight, and now you're receiving the kettlebell, which is deceleration. Deceleration is something I don't think we talk enough about. You can decelerate the kettlebell only by recruiting enough muscle fibers, right? By receiving the bell in a stable, effective manner. So let's get another 10. I'll go a few reps just to remind you what it looks like. If you want to make it a little harder, you can go for 2 taps. 1, 2, tap. 1, 2, tap. Tap, tap, catch. Tap, tap, catch. Tap, catch. Tap, catch. Tap, catch. What's it feel like to just let go? Remember that? Just let go. Hit those 10 reps, and let's get to the next drill. I'm proud of you. Crushing it. Crushing it. So hopefully you're starting to get a little more confident when it comes down to letting the bell go in a safe zone, right? And there's many safe zones. In my program, I call them float zones, right? Points of 0 gravity. The bell suspends. The bell suspends in many places. One of the big ones to know is about here, right? Where that kettlebell can float, where you don't have to work too hard to make the bell move in the manner you choose to move. There's other areas, I would say, just so you have an idea about it. At the height of the shoulder, the middle's great, but at the height of the shoulder, out here's great. Out here. So anywhere that's pretty much height here, not just centered, out here is also a great place to let the bell go. Pretty much the top of any kettlebell swing, and if you guys think of lateral swings, I'm sure you've seen these. The bell, 1, floats for that 1 second up here, right? 1 second, it floats. If I was to release the kettlebell in that area, it would still float for that second unless I threw it somewhere intentionally. So the only time the bell goes somewhere when you release it that's crazy is when you've put it there by accident. All right, so let's get to the next drill. We've done letting go, hand-to-hand swings. We've done letting go, tap the kettlebell while it's in the middle of the air. Now let's practice single tap. So when I release the kettlebell, I'm going to go tap, tap, catch. Tap, tap, catch. Tap, tap, catch. So watch a few reps if you like. Tap, tap, catch. 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 Go for 10 to 15 reps. If you're continuing to move without me, please keep going. And just tap, tap. Go for that sensation. Be careful. It might be new for you to feel what it's like to have the metal just kind of boing, smack you in the hand a little bit, for your hand to smack it. So be careful, be patient. It's a new skill, and it's an area of calluses that maybe you haven't played with before. So take a small breather after you've done the tap, tap, hand to hand, tap, tap, catch. Let's do another 10 of those and make sure we're feeling pretty good. All right? So again, you tap, tap, catch. Tap, tap, catch. Tap, tap, catch. Maybe tap, catch. Tap, catch. Maybe tap, 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 catch. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Woo! 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 That was rowdy. So that's another thing to do. Take a small breather if you finished. 2 taps is tough. Tap, tap, catch. How about tap, 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 catch? 3 taps is tough. How about 4 taps? Ba, 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 catch it. Building hand-eye coordination is just simply reps. It's just practice. And I think a lot of us, including myself in many areas of my life, lack patience when it comes down to doing the reps. So when you're going into the next level of this, which is flipping, maybe if you guys really like this, please drop a comment. Also shoot me a DM. And I'll plan to start teaching live sessions of kettlebell flipping. Cool? If it's something you enjoyed today, just please give us the feedback, let us know. But as you get into the flipping, the juggling, the releasing of the bell, you're more likely to mess up. And it's just being okay with, like, you're going to screw up, you're going to drop the kettlebell, but you will get better over time. Like, you'll learn, man, that movement, I'm weakened. I'm not mobile. My wrist has never done this before. My wrist doesn't do this, or it's never done this, or it's never done that. And these are all new things. And even though it's something that is small, right? It's like, oh, my wrist move. That's something to know about. Why doesn't your wrist move in this manner? And if your wrist isn't moving this way, maybe your elbow is taking heat. Maybe your shoulder is in pain because your wrist doesn't have that skill, doesn't know how to go into external rotation. So just some thoughts from those of you who are not just coaches, but also on the athlete end, right, on the client end. Like, we want to be active and healthy for life. And if we don't know what parts of our body are weak, or what biomechanics, right, the actual movements aren't prepared for whatever, that's usually what's the weak part of our chain. That's usually the part of our body that we didn't prepare for, and somehow we got it. Well, there's a lot of angles in this world. It's 3D planning. If you want to train in one plane of motion, best of luck to you, but there's frontal and transverse. There's at least 3. I'm sure there's many more. Okay. That's just on a 3D spectrum. So, tap, tap, tap was one of my favorite drills to play with. Now, I want to give you another drill that's going to help you to release the kettlebell. This one is about letting go of the kettlebell when you're going hand-to-hand clean. So I'd like to show you a few hand-to-hand cleans. I like to imagine I'm uppercutting the kettlebell as it's coming up towards me. I'm bringing my hand through the handle like an uppercut. So notice this is me sliding my hand through. Right, I'm sliding my hand through. It's pretty chill. Now, if I was to make it more challenging, I would look for that float where I kind of release the bell. It's going to drop back into the same place I've been looking, right? If I swing it into it, 1 second, or really half second versus letting go, 1. So I'd like you to try out 20 hand-to-hand kettlebell cleans when you let go of the kettlebell and let your hand sit there. Allow the bell to come back to you. Instead of you trying to go to the bell is going to go straight down. Is it not? It's going straight down. Throwing it up, then that means it's coming back down. So all I got to do is place my hand directly under that point of impact where the kettlebell is going to land. So from a side view, again, I'm letting go, letting my hand absorb the impact. And for those of you who are new to this, your wrists are going to be challenged. It's kind of like punching an object. You got to stabilize. And maybe your wrist is new to that kind of impact, but is it going to get you stronger? Yeah. It's going to get you stronger, right? Your wrist learning how to take impact over and over again to absorb the momentum and redirect it out, you're going to gain strength. Cool. So I want to review a little bit of drills again. The first one we started off with was hand-to-hand swings, right? Just trusting that and eventually letting it go instead of us holding on for dear life the whole time, right? Actually release it and practice catching it with the other hand. So think hand-to-hand, letting go. We practiced just completely letting go with 2 hands. We practice tapping and catching with 2 hands. Tap, catch. Tap, catch. Tap, catch. We practice tap, 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 catch. Tap, tap, catch. Tap, tap, catch. Tap, tap, catch. If you want to advance taps, something else you can do is tap the kettlebell on other parts. So notice this time, I'm going to touch the top of the handle. Tap, tap. Woo. Tap, tap, but very light, because I don't want to throw it back down. Because my landlord will not be happy. Tap, tap. Or maybe tap. Woo. That was a little tough, though. Tap. 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 Cool. Let's take a breather. All right, guys. So we're going to pretty much wrap it up for today. Super happy, YouTube, that I'm seeing some great comments. Hope you guys learned something new. Like I said, if this is something that you want to dive a bit more into, I'd say getting into the flipping portion is next, the juggling portion. So if this was something you guys enjoyed, please, like I said, just drop us feedback. Let us know at Kettlebell Kings. Let me know on my personal handle at The Crazy Trainer. And I'll make sure our next lesson is a progression of this one. If not, you guys will mobility, some light flow work, maybe some strength training this month. But again, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you you learned something new. I'll also be teaching a personal live session. If you want to hop in, I'll be inviting pretty much everybody to join me to learn how to use kettlebells at a conventional level as well as unconventional. And again, if you have any questions, just shoot me a DM. I'm on YouTube at The Crazy Trainer, Instagram at The Crazy Trainer, and I'm always looking to enhance the vibration. Have a lovely rest of your day. Make good choices. And again, thank you again. Bye.